Hey guys, today we walk into a room filled with spinning straw, whispered bargains, and a promise no one remembered to break. You've heard the story. A girl makes a deal with a strange little man to spin straw into gold, offering her firstborn as payment. But what if the story didn't end when the name was spoken? What if the child was never hers to give, because it was never hers to keep? Now, sit back and relax so we can start exploring today's story. Once a miller boasted his daughter could spin straw into gold. Dragged before the king, she faced death if she failed. But a strange man appeared, striking a bargain, her necklace, her ring, and finally, her firstborn child. Years passed. She became queen. When the man returned to claim the baby, she tricked him by guessing his name. He vanished, and the tale ends there. Or so we thought. Because bargains bound in blood do not fade with names. And the child, now growing, begins to change. Something ancient stirs inside him. The queen remembers the deal, but too late, because what was promised always comes home. Thunder rolls. The chamber is cold, dry, and cruel. She kneels before the spinning wheel. Her hands are blistered. Her hair sticks to her temples. The straw surrounds her like dead grass, waiting to bloom. The king, voice sharp with amusement. Spin gold or die. I find both options amusing. She begs, pleads, weeps. Then he appears. A voice like rusted bells. I can spin, but the thread is never free. She gasps, frightened. What do you want? He smiles without lips. Whatever's warmest. A necklace, a ring, a future. 3 nights, 3 rooms, 3 payments. First her necklace, second her ring, and on the third, the man, fingers brushing her stomach. The next thing you love most. She pauses, then nods, whispering, my first child, if I live long enough to have one. He hums, pleased, then it is mine. He disappears with the last of the straw. The wheel spins on its own, whirring long after he's gone. Years pass. She becomes queen. She forgets. The child is born beneath a full moon, silent for too long, then screaming loud enough to crack glass. The midwife whispers, he has gold in his eyes. The queen, voice soft with dread, it's just the light. But the child never cries unless the wheel in the corner of the room turns. And they never owned a spinning wheel. The king scoffs. It's just coincidence. But the servants say he hums in his sleep, and the melody is the same as the man who spun gold. When the man returns, the queen is ready. She's found his name, written in forgotten tongues, buried beneath ash in the fireplace of the mill. He appears, as promised, smiling wide. I've come for what's mine. She shouts the name. He recoils. She shouts it again. He snarls. She cries it a 3rd time. He screams and vanishes, but something stays. The child does not cry. He just smiles, slowly, for the first time. The boy grows. He's quiet, too quiet. He draws circles in dust. He hums while no music plays. One night, the queen finds thread tied to his fingers, golden, thin, pulsing. It stretches across the room like a web. The queen, startled. Where did you get this? The boy, eyes wide and distant. I made it while I was sleeping. The wheel turns again. No one touches it. The queen calls for priests, scholars, healers. All fail. One day, she follows her son's gaze to a wall tapestry, woven with straw and gold. It pulses. She cuts it. He screams. A court healer gasps. His blood. It's glittering. The queen chokes out. He's not cursed. He's spun. His body is thread given shape. A promise woven tight. And promises unravel violently. He returns, not in body, but through mirrors, in dreams, in thread. The queen finds her son at the window, speaking in a language only the wheel understands. The boy whispers, his voice not his own. You said my name, but not his. The queen stammers, I broke the deal. The boy coldly, you spoke the name that vanished, but not the name that stayed. She gasps, there were two. The second one was never banished. It waited. Inside the child, the queen finds the spindle buried beneath the castle. It hums when touched. She remembers the promise, whatever's warmest. Not a ring, not a child, her womb, her blood. She speaks aloud, voice steady. He never wanted the child. He wanted the door to make more. The wheel turns by itself, and in the next room, her son begins to spin. The queen acts. She cuts the thread, not with metal, but memory. She gives up the crown, the palace, the gold. She gives up being queen. She walks into the room where the child weaves. She kneels beside him, whispering, you were never a bargain. You were a boy. The wheel stills. The boy blinks, slow and soft. Mama, and the thread fades to dust. They live quietly now. No titles, no gold. But sometimes, when the boy sleeps, his breath smells faintly of old promises. And in the attic, the broken wheel sometimes creaks. The queen murmurs to herself, names in stories. But some threads never break. Because some deals aren't about power or payment. They're about legacy, and legacy spins on. She thought she named him to end the curse, but the curse had already learned a name. His. The wheel never stopped. It simply passed from hand to hand. That's it for today. I'll make similar videos in the future. Subscribe so you don't miss any stories.